You know, I hate to be the one to disappoint you guys, but it seems like lately I just haven't been happy with anything I've been writing. Maybe you know the feeling. When the story of your life feels tired, cliched, like a sequel that never should have been written. Every day I feel like I write that same old story. And besides that one, the stories that I do know well are few and far between. When I look out over this sea of faces, I feel like an illiterate man at a library. I don't know your story. But what I do know is that there are going to be some dark chapters. There are going to be times when that happily ever after seems oh so far away. I can tell you there are going to be days when you're afraid to even turn the page, days when you don't even want to find out what comes next. Like you want to read backwards through the text, like your alphabet goes Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, T, F, E, D, C, B, A. I can tell you there are going to be days when you want to rip the pages out, crumple them up and throw them like shooting stars, making wishes we had written something worthwhile with our lives. And believe me, I know what it's like to write your story under a pen name because you don't feel like anything that you've done has been anything worth taking credit for. And I've said it before, but I know what it's like to get rejected from every publishing house that you submit to. And I'll admit to knowing what it's like to feeling like your life is somebody else's choose your own adventure novel, going around in circles at the circulation desk. You can never circumvent your circumstances until it starts shrinking the circumference on your circle of life. I know what it's like to fill your arms with paper cuts, trying to cut a long story short and then leave it out of the book report. I know what it's like to want to stop writing. I mean, what's the point when it feels like there's nobody reading? Now look, I don't know your story, but what I do know is that I want you to keep writing it because your life is a story worth telling. No, I don't got all the answers, but I want you to write another chapter, and if your story's been filled with disaster, then I say, write a sequel starring the people who care about you, because we are all storytellers, and your book could be a bestseller, and your writing is so beautiful that every passage of every poem peels off the page like a paragraph of perfect cursive. My friends, life is worth it. In spite of all of our morbid punctuation, it is not a death sentence until you put a period at the end of it. Now, my friends, we sit at the edge of a dark chapter, but you're going to find that happily ever after, because while I am not a religious man, I can tell you that in this metaphor, that heaven is a used bookstore, where our stories get told over and over again to friends who never want to stop listening, so even when writer's block hits, and you feel like you're not happy with anything you've written over the years, just remember that I don't know your story, but I know that it doesn't end here.
Yes!